Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today. A lot of you outside of the United States know exactly what this machine is, but inside, maybe not. This is the all-new Ford Ranger. I guess I shouldn't call it all-new. In fact, I was lucky enough to get to see one of these when I was outside of the country several years ago. Now, here's an interesting little deal. The Hagar Cobra on the YouTube's friend of the show actually text messaged me to tell me that, hey, my brother saw a handful of the new Rangers down in a port, a shipping port, down in Georgia. Are they going to be going on sale in the United States? I'm like, I haven't heard a doggone thing about this, and I pretty much assumed they were still built for the world, but not built for here. Apparently that may be changing now because the UAW is in talks with the Ford Motor Company about spooling up a plant in Michigan that's actually run silent now. It was building the Fiesta and the C-Max. Apparently they may be building this machine heading forward. Now, that being said, that has furthered the rumor that this vehicle will be going on sale in the U.S. market. That has not been confirmed, but pretty interesting to think about. Next up on the list, well, a lot of you may know what these machines are. The AM General Humvee. It was the workhorse of the American military over the past several years. Well, now warfare has changed quite a bit. In fact, back when this machine was actually first built, roadside bombs was not their biggest concern. Now, it is a very big concern. So, the U.S. government has actually recommissioned a brand new vehicle for the military, and the AM General Group actually lost out to these guys. This is the Oshkosh, their brand new GLTV, and it stands for Joint Light Tactical Vehicle. Massive diesel engine, huge amounts of wheel travel under these massive tires. In fact, I'm going to put a video up on the Facebook page of this particular machine. You gotta check this thing out. It looks pretty legit. Now, that being said, this thing is a little on the pricey side. Apparently, the government has ordered around 55,000 units of this machine being built over the next several years at a cost of just a touch under 550,000 US dollars. That being said, in my mind, whatever can keep our men and women in the military safe is, well, there's no cost that can be put on it. Spend as much money as you want, government, because I would love to see these folks come home. So, fantastic piece of kit's going to be a neat little addition to the U.S. military. Next up on the list, a nice little convention that's going on down in Las Vegas, Nevada, for the Fiat Chrysler Automobile Dealer Network. One of these machines was actually shown off to the group, the brand new SRT Jeep, but it is the new version, the new Hellcat version, which apparently, according to a lot of insiders inside of that little soiree, claim that it is now official. In fact, the vehicle will cost just a touch under 80,000 US. That's what Fiat Chrysler Automobiles is already claiming. There was also an early rumor that the vehicle was getting a 0 to 60 number coming in at 2.7 seconds. That's monster fast. So a lot of folks have actually dialed that back a bit. They said that's not really exactly possible, including the folks over at allpar.com who claimed, we're thinking it's probably a lot closer to 3.5 seconds. That being said, 3.5 seconds for an SUV, that's whopper fast. Another vehicle that was actually shown off to them is one of these particular machines. Okay, not this exact machine. This is a 1971 Cuda. Now, apparently there was a Barracuda convertible, that concept form that was shown off to this group. It may make its appearance coming up in the Detroit Motor Show as a concept machine. Apparently it's built on an Alfa Giulietta platform. We've shown you the Giulietta in Shows Fast, that gorgeous four-door sedan from Alfa that is coming to the United States. Not a whole lot's known about it. We'll have to keep you in tune on that deal. Apparently, another vehicle that was shown off in concept form was an all-new Dodge Charger, and apparently it looks a lot like this particular concept that was actually shown off in 1999, the Charger concept. Now, again, this is a dealer network, and they may just be fantasizing, and it may look a lot like this. we'll have to wait and see what this particular deal comes about. Another vehicle they were showing off that they say they claimed was a lot closer to production was this machine. You know, we've seen this thing before. It was actually shown off at the SEMA Motor Show. I want to say it was either last year or year before last. A new TA version of the Challenger. Now, TA is a blast from the past. It stands for Trans Am. It was actually made as a homologation car for the Trans Am series way back in the early 70s. Apparently, this is going to be a way stripped down track day star. Sticky tires, big brakes, lightweight wheel tire package, and the whole car is supposedly going on the Atkins diet as well. No rear seats, a lot of stiffening of the chassis and whatnot. Apparently, this vehicle could be a lot closer to production. They claimed it was a lot closer to production. Nice little deal coming out of that dealer expo, I guess you could say, for Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. Next up on the list, an interesting little situation involving this young lady. This is model, actress, and car gal, Jodie Kidd. She was in the running for the new Top Gear spot that was actually going to be headed up by Chris Harris. Now, the funny thing is, or I should say Chris Evans, not Chris Harris. Chris Evans and Miss Kidd were actually seen out dining together, having lunch. Now, this fueled the rumors even hotter, but apparently that was Jodie Kidd just actually going to Chris Evans and claiming, you know what, to get on board with this show would be so much more engrossing than I'm prepared for. She's a good spot in her life now with her husband and family. Doesn't think that putting this deal in the front of her life would be the best thing to do. So she is pulling herself out of the running. So apparently there's still 2 spots opening in the Top Gear presenter lineup. Last up on the list, well, we talked about this young man. I guess he's just a touch younger than I am. But this is Justin Wilson, British-born race car driver. We talked about him in the last episode, how he's actually in an incident at the Pocono Raceway. A piece of debris actually hit him in the helmet. Well, you've probably known by now that Mr. Wilson has succumbed to his injuries and has passed away. Now, there's a couple of little nice things that come out of this story, even though it's such a tragedy, albeit. Nice little thing is, here Mr. Wilson is an organ donor, so a lot of his body parts will live on and help other people to live on. Not to mention, there's a nice little story about NASCAR driver Tony Stewart. Apparently, once he heard the incident had happened, he sent his private jet to Colorado to scoop up Justin Wilson's family and fly them out to Pocono, Pennsylvania, to actually be at Mr. Wilson's side. Again, moving forward, the racing world's still kind of in shock. The IndyCar series is in a tough situation because now they're heading out to Sonoma, California to have a race there this weekend. So it's going to be a tough time for those guys. A lot of tributes to Mr. Wilson obviously going to be happening, and a lot of talk about enclosed cockpits. Obviously, the IndyCar series is looking at it. Charlie Whiting, the head of the FIA's track division for Formula One, is saying that they are looking into it as well. Obviously, we've now had 2 deaths that could have been prevented due to a closed cockpit area, as far as you can think back way back in the day when Felipe Massa actually got hit by a spring in the helmet. Actually, what was that? The Hungaroring, I want to say. Boy, he could have gotten killed from that particular incident as well. And obviously, here just not too long ago was Jules Bianchi actually passing away from the injuries he had in Suzuka from last year. So it's been a sad situation and maybe a growing situation for the racing community. And obviously, if you're a praying person, please pray for Mr. Wilson's family and friends going through an incredibly difficult time. Not to mention, I put up on the Facebook page, there's a little deal, the folks, and they're putting some t-shirts together. Not to mention the decals they're putting up for sale that you can actually help out with the funeral costs for Justin Wilson. If you pitch in, I'd appreciate it, no doubt. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page, the link's down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.